I just wanted to reach out and let you know that we got at the homie that posted that shit, and we explained to him what time we on and shit, the business time we on, and you know what? It's all respect, my G. So just if you feel you gotta reach out about something, go ahead and feel free. You know you got people right here that support you and shit. You know
What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where you already know.
I look at you guys as
we get it in, but
like
before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button.
I don't see no
Ding.
boundaries and shit.
Put your notification bell on all, so that way you're directed in the
whenever.
direction of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel, and it's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled and very much so appreciative. Thank you. I know I couldn't make it without you or do it without you. So I appreciate it. You just heard what Swifty Blue said, speaking to Rico Too Smoove. That's a message he left. And the receipts have been dropped, right? The text messages between Swifty Blue and Rico Too Smoove, and drama. Cheese, right? And the beat goes on like a whisper song, man. It's going to continue to be this way, you know. And I think Rico Too Smoove, who exposed these, you know, this audio and these text messages between him and Swifty Blue, just felt like this was the receipt to expose Swifty on his shenanigans of disrespecting the Norte and basically letting everyone know he ain't really like that. Like, come on, hey, big back and be boo, bro, because you know you really ain't like that, right? I don't think Swifty is like that. I think Swifty is actually a good fella. I think he's a good guy, man, who gets around people and acts out of character. You know, a couple weeks back, he was, they dropped a video of him riding around with Chito Ranas, almost said Dorito Ranas, right? Because, hey, his body he looks like a wet Dorito. Let's keep it real, right? But he was riding around with Pop, right? Riding around with Chito Ranas, and man, I don't know if Swifty was feeling himself, if he was high, drunk, whatever he was. Man, he was talking a lot of shit about the North, the NK, and just disrespecting. And I've never seen Swifty Blue disrespect the North like that. That's one thing I could say, and I respected him on, was he stood out of that mix. He stood out of that North and South mix. And I respected it because I was like, you know, him being from Southern California, the southern side, not the other side, right? There was no reason. There's never been a reason for a Sureño or a South Sider from Southern California to disrespect the North just based on that's not their enemies from the streets. There's really no interaction. You know, street gangs is street gangs and street politics is street politics. And on the inside, that controls the outside. The inside is what counts, right? And when you're in there, yes, you will conduct yourself a certain way. You will do what you got to do for your gente and your people, and can't no one be mad at you about it. You're doing what you got to do to survive prison, right? And politics is an intricate part in prison. So you got to do what you got to do. But on the streets, you're your own man. If you're part of a barrio and you have enemigas right there down the street, those are the vatos you have to see every day and deal with. So to me, it's always baffled my mind that Norteños would talk shit about Southerners from the South, and Southerners from the South would talk shit about Norteños in the North. Now, the North and the Upstate's a whole different story. What they got going on is what they got going on. And because they are Southsiders and they fly under that same flag as the vatos from the Sur, I could understand situations arise and words get thrown out there. But, you know, riding around with Dorito Ranas and talking shit about NK, that was way out of character for Swifty. And I believe Rico Too Smoove fired back with receipts, right? And you heard the audio. That's him saying, basically, Swifty saying that he has no problems with the North, man, that he's trying to bridge the gap. That, you know, it's never been an issue with him. That's not the way he rocks, right? But it was a different story a couple weeks ago. He definitely didn't seem like that same fella that was on that phone. And if you haven't seen the text messages, I'm not dropping the text messages, too much work, right? But there was a lot of interaction there as far as on Swifty's part, showing support and respect for the Norteño rapper Rico Too Smoove. Now, Rico Too Smoove went on No Jumper, okay? And he did not disrespect the South. He did not get played out of character by Adam. He kind of did a great interview, held his own, and just expressed and said what he wanted to say. Now, we all know, and let me give you from the standpoint and the point of view of up north. We were raised differently from Southern California. See, up north, we were raised to hate Southsiders. Okay, especially if you're in the gang life, right? We were told that those are our enemies. See, back in my days, Norteño barrios did beef. There was red on red. Okay, we were from the west side of Merced. We beefed with the north side, right? Did it ever get to the point of killing people and doing all that? In my area, it never got to that. There was definitely shootings, stabbings, all that. But as far as a body, no, we never took a body from the other side, and they never took one of ours. But there was definitely red on red. We'd see each other get off, man. I remember one incident. We were pulling up to the McDonald's. It's on what do you call it? It's right there by Loughborough, man. It's the McDonald's over there, right across from fucking it's on Olive. It's right across from fucking North Campus, right, which is our high school, the Merced Bears. And I remember it was me and a couple homeboys, and we were cruising behind the McDonald's. There's some apartments, and we seen a few of the enemies from Loughborough. They were from the north side of Merced, of Ottawa. We jumped out on them. Everyone got off where they were mad at. Now, we knew that everybody was a threat back then. It wasn't like, hey, them fools are punks or suckers, because they were homies too. They'll fuck you off too. But that's about as far as it went. Little scuffles, fights at the fair, shit like that. It never got to catching a body. Now, there were some individuals that were shooting. They were trying to bag them one, right? But it just never happened. But that's how Norteños rocked. And then in about 1997, there was some huilas that were sent from inside that said all Norteños will show unity and canalismo now. Meaning El Norte law was put into effect. There was going to be no more fighting amongst Norteños. No more red on red would be tolerated. So a lot of the older barrios that didn't get along, there was still some personal beef. Vatos didn't like Vatos for whatever reason. Maybe they'd beat him up, fuck their old lady, whatever. But as far as barrio and barrio warfare up north, that ceased for the most part. There are some areas they still get off. They have to deal with that, how they deal with that, right? But I know in my city, my area, my section, that ceased. You know, it got to be where we were interacting. We actually became closer, different barrios, and now everybody functions together because everyone functions on the same politics. And again, I said the inside controls the outside, especially in Northern California. It's the way it is, right? In Southern California, they were raised differently. There's always been barrio and barrios going at it. They're enemigas. That's just what it is. Every street, every block is a hood, is a neighborhood, and they go at it. So they were raised to, you know, hold it down for their neighborhood and their neighborhood only. So there's a lot of beef that goes on down south, man. I think that's the difference between down south and up north. One of the vast differences is the way that they're not united until they get incarcerated. Once they're incarcerated, all Southsiders function together, right? That's period. There will be no fucking warfare amongst barrios. Now, in CYA was different. CYA, man, if your enemy rolled up, he was a Southsider and another Southsider, you better get off and handle your business, or you were going to be deemed a leva or no good, and you let your enemy punk you. And believe me, they would try to punk you on every fucking chance they got. True stories. Ask Dubs. He'll tell you about YA and Southsiders. It's really how it was. I seen it. Norteños in the youth authority, we didn't play that. If we had enemies on the streets, that ceased and it was left at the door. We all were cool with each other because our numbers were not as vast as the Southsiders, right? So anyways, back to Swifty. To me, him being from Southern California, he was raised that way to worry about his own backyard and not trip on the North. You know, especially when you're a rapper. See, when you're a rapper, people are going to say things, take subliminals, send shots at each other. And with this North and South shit, there's always going to be little shots fired. There's always going to be a distrust, a slight hatred for the other side. It is what it is, but it's all rap music. It's entertainment. It's to entertain your section and your fan base, right? And there's a lot of people from the South, man, that like to hear that fuck the up North shit and vice versa. You know, they like to hear that fuck the down South shit. And that's just how that is. At the end of the day, it don't mean shit. It's banging on wax. It's just music. To each their own. You know, you can't change someone's mindset on how they feel. There's a lot of authors, they listen to music and they get all fucking pumped up, right? So it's all about that. It's all about feeding into the ego or feeding into the storyline of what someone thinks is going on rather than real life. But behind the scenes in real life, Swifty Blue has been one of those guys that's been all over the place. Okay? I seen, what was it, the other day, that incident happened where that kid, that autistic kid was slapped, right? And very unfortunate. I didn't speak on that situation or do a video on it because I just can't bring myself to doing something on that. That fucking was frivolous behavior. No one should ever do that, man. I got an autistic niece, and I just don't condone that shit, man. That's it's just fucked up. There's no way to justify that, right? That's probably one of the worst things this predator or weirdo could ever do, was do that to a child, right? That's taking advantage of the mentally challenged, right? It's not good. But anyways, he'll get his karma. Swifty pulled up to the familia and blessed them with the stack, blessed them with money. And he does these things, man. And that's why I have respect for Swifty Blue. He does these things. This is the real Swifty. The real man that he really is. He thinks about things. Now, a lot of people are saying he was doing it for a photo op, or he was doing it for, to try to get in the limelight, to try to gain some attention off that kid's, what happened to him. I don't see it that way. Regardless, man, he gave him money. He gave the family, he blessed them. And whether he gets a little clout out of that, or a little recognition, or some flowers like he is now, I don't give a fuck. Anyone that does that and goes out of their way to pull up and bless people, I'll respect it, man. And he's done that back in the days with the paletero man. When he was tripping, Swifty went and blessed him with money. So he has some good points to him, man. And then he falls back and he says stupid shit all the time. And I think it's just to impress people. See, Swifty strikes me as a follower, man. And no disrespect toward the vato, period. I support him, but he fucking strikes me as a follower. Someone who's going to be a chameleon. He's going to do what he does when he's around certain people. I have a lot of homeboys like that. At one point in time, I was kind of like that, trying to get in where I fit in. And then I realized that displaying leadership qualities and being a leader is much better than being a follower, because you pretty much dictate your own program, but you're also responsible for everyone else. And what they do is a reflection on you. So what Swifty does is a reflection on other people. Definitely. And this talking shit and this woofing, it's going to make people feel some type of way. Case in point, Rico Too Smoove, right? Now, Rico Too Smoove is involved, or has been involved, in this back and forth with all these rappers, with the lefties, with the, not Drummer Boy, he's a good ass rapper, he don't do that shit, right? What is his name? Little Weirdo, Bozo, you know what I mean? The ethnicity of things, the Bozo hustle, right? The back and forth, the North and South bullshit on wax, right? And I think when Rico heard Swifty say what he said the other day, the NK, and we over there killing Norteños and all, like, come on, bro, stop it. You ain't killed a cucaracha in a long time, bro. What you need to kill is a Jenny Craig diet, because your shit is starting to get wangala, right? And tell Dorito to jump in there with you. You vatos need to run on the treadmill together, one in the front, one in the back. Just fucking just grab his hips and just fucking thrust, run, right? Because to be honest with you, man, you guys need it. This whole video should be about a workout plan. And if you want, I'll post a good workout plan at the end, so that way you can catch up, right? I'm just fucking with them. Don't be mad, is it? It's all good. You know what I mean? It's not my fault you look like a fucking a sour cream and chai potato chip that's wet. Now, when Swifty said that shit, I was flabbergasted, right? He was talking that shit, and I'm sure Rico was too. So Rico exposed his hand. Rico came with receipts, man. You got to respect that. But that goes to show you about social media. That goes to show you that in social media, right, everything is recorded. Everything is on camera. Whatever you say can and will be used against you. I'll be doing a video on this channel later on about Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Do I still support him or I don't? Well, we're going to get down to that, right? But everything you say is on social media. People have the receipts on it. But especially when you're behind the scenes text messaging people. Do you know how many times, man, text messages between me and other individuals haven't been exposed, and people are, they try to spin the narrative, the AI it, and they just whatever. It happens all the time. Rico Too Smoove put the audio out there though of Swifty acting real cool, real nonchalant, real unity. And and that's basically the perfect way to kill the noise. Like, hey bro, you're not him. Hey, big back, be boo, because you're not like that, right? You said NK and you're a Norteño killer, but at the end of the day, you're sitting there in your own words saying, nah, bro, I ain't really doing that. A lot of people will say things on Front Street to make them sound tough and cool and gangbang, but behind the scenes, they really don't want that smoke, man. And all Rico did was merely show that he didn't want the smoke. Now, is Rico in the right? I mean, he could have handled it a different way. He could have immediately went in on the South and started disrespecting And I don't think Rico disrespects vatos from Southern California. I think he disrespects Chito Ranas, Dorito Ranas from his section. You know, from his enemy, his real enemy. You know, that upstate norteño thing is very tricky, man. I don't think that's ever going to cease to exist. I think as long as there's Southsiders up north, they're always going to be fighting to get a foothold. And the norteños are always going to be fighting to keep their fucking, their lands free of that, right? So there's always going to be that beef. But as far as Southern California, Northern California, they're 700 miles away, man. It's frivolous. You know, that's like with bands and Lefty Gunplay. Lefty did the best thing possible. He ignored the bullshit and he kept it pushing. Everyone won. It was a win-win situation. Lefty is now in Texas doing things with D-Baby and doing his thing, making money. Band's got his fucking, you know, his name on the map. It was a great, he's getting paid off the video. Everybody won. Everybody won, man. And no one died. No one got clipped over it, man. That's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful thing. The raza. That's right. Now with Rico, he's handling it correctly. He's just saying, hey, bro, look, you ain't really him, so stop, right? And I think Swifty Blue's best defense is no offense. Take the rock and just stay home, bro. Don't go back and forth because it's not going to do anything but give content creators more content to create. The best thing to do is just say, take your ball and go home. Like, all right, bro, you got me. You got me this time. You know, can I say the North stays winning? So far in this battle of North and South on wax, the North has been holding their own quite viciously, right? Do I support both sides? Absolutely, man. I hope all the raza comes up. You know how many times I've been hated on and ridiculed for showing so much support for the South? And it's not even like that with me. I support everybody, man. Is Rico one up on Swifty? Show is, right? He did that too smooth with that, right? But again, the best thing for Swifty to do is just bounce out with his ball, period. Hey, his hand was exposed. He's been proven that all that NK shit and all that shit he says is not truth. He really don't mean that. And again, I think he was just saying that because he was around Chito and he said what Chito wanted him to say or what he thought Chito wanted him to say. Again, man, if authors are going to continue to disrespect on songs, let them. They're kids. Let them. If that's what fucking makes them happy, whatever. As long as nobody's getting dropped on the streets and there ain't no ramifications for it, it's whatever, man. If it's bringing attention and making them money, so be it. At first, I was like, oh, no, we don't need this shit. This shit is pushing the people back. Hey, the people push themselves back. There's no more trying to fight the good fight for gente that don't want to fight with you. It just is what it is, man. There's a lot of us. There's a majority of us people, raza, that want to make money, want to do things the right way, want to show unity and canalismo. And then there are those that don't want that, you know, and it seems like the ones that don't want that are the cool guys, the cool crew, you know, the bad boys club. They're the ones that don't want the unity, don't want the, you know, for whatever reason. And I understand because I was once part of that club, but I'm no longer part of that club. See, I'm part of the club of the brown man, you know, the black, the brown, the white, the woods, brother, everyone that wants to take care of their kids, their family, put a foundation down, you know, build their bank account, you know, some life insurance, you know, look out for their family. So when they're gone, no one has to do a car wash for them. You know, they already fucking got their shit set up. It's the type of individual I am, right? Or the way I'm thinking now as I'm older. I guess it's the wrong way of thinking because according to these youngsters, I'm just a poop butt piece of shit that don't got his shit together, that's living in his mother's basement, right? But I know what the truth is. And I'm going to continue to spread the truth. Billy Graham style, right? And that's just it. Now, you know, I was told the other day, hey, Gun, because I was talking about how everything you do is recorded nowadays, conversations, phone conversations. Oh, Gunner, you record phone conversations? One time I did. Truth. One time I did. But let me rehash that so you guys understand the situation. It was years ago now, 2.5 years ago. And here's the true story behind that. The absolute truth. I was sitting in Rojo's backyard. Okay? And we had gotten a hold, actually Rojo had gotten a hold of Little Dave, the ex-president of the Mongols, right? Ex-national president. And how, you know, that he was able to, or let me back it up a little bit. So it was about 6 a.m. and I get a phone call from a homeboy from Sacra, an active homeboy. And he's waking me up and I was at Rojo's house. I'd spent the night, man. We were partying the night before. We went to Frisco, did whatever, right? And this is when I had heavy heavy interaction with a convict's perspective at the time. Their channel was doing their thing. My channel just that day before had got not demonetized, but it got taken down, you know, and I was very upset. But it was what it was. There's nothing I could do about it. So my homeboy calls me in the morning. He's like, hey, bro, did you see the video that was dropped on Little Dave? His wife is exposing him, whatever, right? So at first I was like, I can't use it as content because I'm already out the way. Someone done got me out the way. So as soon as Rojo woke up, I told him, hey, bro, he's drinking his coffee. Hey, bro, there's this video. And at first he was like, I ain't gonna do no biker stuff. Biker videos don't do good for me. And I was like, no, this is pretty, hey, this is some heavy shit, man, right? So I told him it's pretty heavy. So as he starts looking into it, he reaches out to a few people, gets a hold of Little Dave, right? And they facilitate a conversation. And all day long, they're talking on and off. And it comes to the point where Little Dave is willing to sit down and do an interview via Zoom, you know, or StreamYard or whatever. And as we're sitting down outside, man, it's myself, it's Flacco from a convict's perspective is on, he's on the other video, and then it's Little Dave and Rojo was going to be facilitating the conversation, the interview, right? As I'm standing off to the side, I hear Little Dave's wife. She's very concerned, you know, with the interview. She doesn't want it to be edited or changed up or switched up. Because a lot of people will do that. They'll interview you and then they'll add shit or they'll take shit away to make you look bad, right? And at this point, he was trying to save face. He was trying to prove his point. So at the time, I don't know if you know about the story, but Little Dave was being exposed as possibly being an informant by his wife. And however it worked out for him. But his wife was very concerned. So she says, before we even started the video, do you mind if I record this on my phone? So that way nothing is changed up. Basically, so she would have proof, right? So we agreed, nah, that's cool. I said, you mind if I record it too? She says, yeah, that's cool. So I have my phone, she has her phone, and basically we were getting audio, not video, but audio of the conversation. And then nothing was said, man. The conversation went on for maybe 10 minutes. Nothing was really exposed on, just, you know, talking about, hey, this is Little Dave, woo woo. Well, somewhere in the midst of that conversation, Little Dave's homeboy gives him a phone call, or his homeboy tells him, hey, you need to cease and desist on this shit. Basically, don't do this interview. It ain't good look for you, right? For whatever reason. And so he shuts it down. Well, after me and him have a conversation, because I'm like, whoa, what's going on, bro? So I talked to him. I'm a little level-headed, right? At that time, Rojo was a little upset. He was like, fuck, bro. You know, I had some good content. Flacco kind of just fell off to do his whatever he was doing. And so I start to talk to Little Dave, and he's asking me for advice. Hey, bro, what should I do? I still want to expose this, but I can't do it for whatever reason. And I go, hey, bro, make your own channel or whatever. And he's like, I said, just don't go on any of these other channels that are going to try to milk you or whatever, right? So he's like, cool. I said, hey, you know, he's like, that's my word, bro. I gave it to you guys first, so I won't go anywhere else. I'll just do my own channel like you said. Cool. Whatever, right? I'm in Modesto. I'm chilling in Modesto at a partner's house. And Flacco's blowing me up on the phone. He's like, hey, bro, did you see what's going on YouTube? I said, what's up? It's about a week later, right? He's like, American Cholo, man, is having Little Dave on. And he's talking about he's the first one to expose this and that. I said, well, we already had that interview. So I'm trying to get a hold of Little Dave. I was blocked, right? Couldn't get a hold of him. So I was like, fuck that, bro. At this time, I'm not going to lie to you guys. There was a semi-beef between myself and American Cholo, kind of unspoken. He had said some things about me. I had said some things about him. So we were trying to beat each other to the punch. We were in like a lightweight competition. True story, right? No hatred. Like, I don't hate the man. But it was like, you know, he was trying to one-up me. I was trying to one-up him. So I was like, fuck that, bro. By what he was saying, oh, you know, I was the first one to get a hold of this dude. No one else, whatever. I was like, no, he wasn't. I was, right? Bam, let me expose this. Let me drop this recording just to show that we talked to Little Dave first, right? Because Little Dave didn't keep his word with me. You know, he gave me his word and he went back on his word. So I play the video and he didn't say nothing at all, man. It's just basically his voice, so you know that we were the first ones to interview him. And that was that. I got a lot of hatred for that, right? You were recording him without his knowing and this and knowing. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. Me and his wife were recording. His wife, Annie. That's the truth, right? The fact is, a lot of people hate on me because I talked to certain people behind the scenes, and people even wondered how I was able to get a conversation done with that guy. There's a lot more people I talk to behind the scenes because of this YouTube stuff, or people I know from my personal experience. So whatever the case may be, that's that. The fact of the matter is, everything gets recorded, everything gets played back, man. People have receipts. So the best thing for you to do in life, man, is watch what you say, you know, because Rico Too Smoove will expose it. You know, now Rico Too Smoove has dropped these phone conversations. Rico Too Smoove has dropped these text messages. Is anyone going to go in on him like they did on me? Gunner, you're a rat, you're a punk, you recorded him without him knowing, you exposed it, this, and that. Rico just did it, and everyone's supporting it. Come on now, man. Stop selective politicking, man. Leave me up out the mix. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly and honestly believe in, and that's being real and the betterment of all people. The gun.